Hello and welcome to the FIA European Rally Championship 2020, and it's great to be back in action once again. Hot off the heels of round one, Rally di Roma Capitale in Italy, the revised 2020 season continues. For round two, we're way north on the Baltic coast of western Latvia for the first gravel round of the season, based in the port city of Liepāja, where the locals are certainly making the most of the fine weather. While Latvia itself has no mandatory mask wearing, international motorsport can only happen under strict COVID rules. So the rallying community must adhere to sanitisation, protection, reduction of personnel on site and social distancing rules minimise the risk of transmission. Round one saw a very dominant performance from Alexei Lukanuk, the former champion, winning 6 out of 6 stages on leg one and sealing the victory on tarmac. Big crashes for both Andrea Crinola and Adrian Formeau. Both crews were okay, only equipment and pride were damaged. But the Italian asphalt specialist from former ERC champion Gian Domenico Basso was strong second in Rome. Oliver Solberg really impressed on his first Rally di Roma. Not so experienced on the sealed surface, especially driving a whole loop without his glasses. However, podium, he leads the way for the ERC1 Junior, heading in to round number 2. So the Russian rocket leads the way after round number 1. And it's an impressive entry list for round number 2, featuring 3 former Latvian winners. For Craig Breen, it will be very different from his victory here in 2015, when it was run as a snow rally.
Yeah, it's the first time I've seen it now in the summertime. Apparently some of the roads are the same, but to be honest with you, I can't recognise them. Everything looks so different. So, but yeah, it will be definitely a nice weekend and definitely a lot of adrenaline.
The speed of the gravel event is not only daunted by Nikolai Gryazin, who has won this event twice here before in his own backyard.
It's really top speed race, so it's, I think, the fastest from ERC rounds and maybe one of the fastest in the world. But it's fast, you need to have really precise pace in the fast sections, because you need to understand where you can go full throttle, where you need just to push.
It's very, very fast, and it's special roads compared to any other place in the world. So for sure, it's a very nice rally, and they have fantastic roads. So it brings good memories. It was my first time on gravel, and managing to do my first ever international win was fantastic. So it's going to be tough this year as well, I think.
Because when you are winning, you think you are unbeatable, but here, for sure, it will be more like fight.
Flexing his muscles for the fight is WRC star and Citroën factory driver Mads Osberg. He's driven many times on fast gravel rallies in his long career.
You find it in Estonia, you find it in Poland and here as well, where you have this crazy fast parts on the stages with some long crests, not so many jumps as we found in Finland, but the speed is very, very high, very sandy, very dusty, very loose.
For the bravery and for the speed, this is a good event.
The Baltic countryside looks absolutely glorious in the summer sunshine. The city is surrounded by picturesque landscapes, ready for the best rally drivers in Europe to take flight across the countryside. And in the road order selection, the 2-time Latvian winner Nikolai Gryazin was quickest on the qualifying stage and was first to pick his road order, choosing to run as late as possible. Miko Marcek was impressive, and his reward was to choose 14th on the road. Remember, because of the gravel stages, road position is crucial as fast racing line appears further down the start order, with every passing car Oliver Solberg followed the pattern, choosing 13th, while Mikko Häkkilä opted for 12th on the road. Craig Breen had to settle for position 8, but the real loser was Aleksi Lukyanuk, who called it the worst qualifying stage of his career, 9th in line to choose his start position. As the sun set on Friday evening, it felt almost normal as the public lined the old streets of Liepāja city, and the class of 2020 were keen to show off their shiny cars and make some noise to the crowds burning rubber on the official rally parade around the streets of Liepāja. Oliver Solberg was joined by his mum Pernilla on board. So a warm welcome from the Latvian spectators before the real action would get underway the following day on Saturday morning. And a big drive north to Talsi. Saturday's stages were based in the region, a couple of hours north of Liepāja, where the Rally HQ is based. 4 stages back to back, some sections are repeated with a remote service in the middle of the day and a long liaison section each way, just under 90 kilometres of competitive action on day number 1. So let's join Oliver Solberg at the wheel of his Polo R5 at the start of stage 1. He's got the engine, he's got the pressure is on, off to a good start, and he stalls. Emil Lindholm, another youngster from the rallying dynasty, 24 years old, is the son of 8-time Finnish rally champion Sebastian Lindholm. The first cousin and once removed to double world champion Marcus Gronholm. And he's certainly got the Finnish driving feeling here this weekend. Only his second ever ERC event and fighting from the front right from the start. Back in the ERC where he cut his teeth before sealing a factory drive in the World Championship, Craig Breen is here as part of a tyre development programme with MRF tyres. Long-term co-driver Paul Nagel calling out the pace notes for him once again here. The Irish crew are slightly off the pace from the front runners on the first loop of stages. Craig was frustrated with himself. He was 7th overall after stage number 2. As for the Russian Rocket, he won last time out in Rome, but has given himself a hard job of sweeping the gravel off the road for his rivals this weekend. The 2018 ERC champion spent a break between Rome and Latvia, hiking in the mountains of Russia, trying to get in the right frame of mind for this high-speed attack on the loose surface here in Latvia. And remember, this is only his second ERC event with his new co-driver, Dimitri, alongside him, pulling out the pace notes.
Yeah, we tried to do our best, still not perfect, a lot of cleaning. Guys behind should be dramatically faster, so... but I enjoyed my drive, the car feels nice, and it's pretty nice to be here, to start and have this excitement.
And Norwegian rally star Mats Osberg last competed in Latvia in 2012, so 8 years ago, before this was an ERC round. His entry here in Latvia is being treated by Citroën as a test for his World Championship attack in Rally Estonia in a few weeks' time. And the goal for Mads is to keep on the road this weekend. However, Mads is always keen to impress and keen to lay down some good times on the stage times. The 3rd overall after stage number 2. As for Nikolai Gryazin, double winner here, also getting used to a new co-driver. Konstantin Alexandrov is replaced by his long-term co-driver, Yaroslav Fedorov. The former ERC1 junior champion is the only double winner of this event, so he returns to the championship and trying to win it one more time again on the ERC. Brazil's driving the Hyundai i20 R5. As for Oliver Solberg, despite a stalled start on stage number 1, where that cost him around 5 seconds, Solberg's on a mission, winning stage number 1 by over 3 seconds. The 18-year-old son of Petter Solberg was impressive on tarmac in Rome on round number 1 and spurred him on to continue his ERC campaign. When he won Rally Liepāja last year, it went down on the record books as the youngest ever ERC winner. Impressive speed for Solberg.
I stalled in the start. I lost about 5-6 seconds. But I pushed very hard after that, I can tell you. I didn't take many risks. My pace notes were very good and it felt really good. So I'm surprised.
So after 2 stages here in Latvia, Solberg's out in front by 1.3 seconds. Ahead of Nikolai Gryazin, Mads Osberg 3rd overall. Alexei Lukanuk is lying in 4th. Just 7.4 seconds separate the top 4 drivers. Well, those pace notes from Aaron Johnson have put the Volkswagen crew at the top of the standings. Coming next, big trouble in Latvia. Welcome back to the programme. We're on the Latvian gravel roads for round 2 of the FIA European Rally Championship. But before we get back to the main class, let's have a look at the 2 other categories, ERC2 and ERC3. The ERC2 is the production class with cars like Mitsubishi Lancers, Subaru Imprezas and the Arbath 124 Rally. Current ERC2 leader, and after victory in Rome, Zelindo Meligari is heading the lineup and also features a double category champion and experienced Latvian drivers as well. Zelindo was 4th at the end of leg 1. The Italian had some difficulties in the opening 4 stages on day number 1, but had a good rhythm. Another Latvian driver in ERC2 is top 3 in his Mitsubishi Lancer. Battling with the dust in the stages, local hero took 3rd position at the end of day number 1. ERC regular Dmitry Viovanov, the Russian driver flying the Latvian flag in ERC2. He improved all day long and finished 2nd on the last stage of the rally. 2nd overall in ERC2. But will he be battling for victory on day number 2? And as for Tibor Erdi Jr., the Hungarian driver is returning to the ERC2 for a 3rd championship bid in 2020. Winning in Latvia 3 years ago, he has described Rally Liepāja as one of his all-time favourites. Winning every stage on day number 1, a strong leader in ERC2 with an advantage of 51 seconds at the end of the day. ERC3 class is revealing the rising stars with their 2-wheel drive machines. Certainly where they get to learn the stages in slightly lower powered machinery than the R5 class, but Mika Häkkinen crashed out in Rome, but unfortunately had brake issues at the beginning of the last stage of day number 1 and dropped from 4th to 7th. Renis Nitis, the 24-year-old double FIA European Rally Cross champion, has switched his focus to rallying in 2020. And he's a star attraction for the local motorsport fans. The Latvian driver put his Ford Fiesta into 4th position at the end of day 1. In his new Ford Fiesta Rally 4, the Swede Dennis Radström finished 3rd in all 3 stages. He's 3rd overall in ERC3, 12 seconds behind the rally leader at the end of leg number 1. As for Ken Thorn, winning last time out in Italy, The championship leader had a big battle with the local hero, Martin Seks, all day long. Up on the roads of Latvia, Ken Torn managed to keep the lead until the last stage of the rally, where he slipped down to second. In ERC3, with just 0.3 of a second the gap between the leader at the end of leg number 1.
It's tough, and very beginning we hit one big rock, and after that this car will feel a little bit weird. But yeah, anyway, I think it's okay.
On his home soil, Martin Seks is the man to beat. He knows these roads well. He won the ERC under-27 class just a couple of years ago. He was on the podium in the R5 car last year. But even though he's driving the Ford Fiesta Rally 4 this year, he leads the ERC3 category at the end of day number 1. He made a lot of mistakes though, and has a small advantage of 0.3 of a second.
Well, the stage was good, and I made in the very ending corner I made a mistake, and well, I think we lost there some good seconds. So it was good until that one. Well, I felt the pressure in the morning. You know, it's our first international race after Sweden, so we didn't know really how fast we are. But even though making quite many mistakes in the first section, but we're still in a good place.
So it's time for our helicopter and the rest of the crews to leave the remote service in Talsi for the afternoon loop of stages. Apart from one small part, most of stage 3 is a repeat of stage number 1, and stage 4 is a long and difficult one, which will finish the day's action. Our ERC Eye in the Sky brings you some beautiful scenery as we head into the final 2 stages of the day. Sean Johnson was struggling today by his own admission, his first ERC event of the year. As for Raul Jeets, from neighbouring Estonia, he's back in the ERC. He was a regular a few years ago. He's competing on the same rally as his son Gregor Jeets. Finishes 9th overall. Another Finn on the leaderboard, winner of last year's ADAC Opel Adam Cup in Germany. An impressive performance on his ERC debut, but the young Finn is set the top 3 times on stage 4, and yet finishes the day 4th overall. And then this guy, Nikolai Gryazin, started the second loop pushing hard, trying to get the best out of his new car, moving to the i20 R5. But stage 3, the Hyundai was quick, but a bit too quick on a left-hander. And then a big off for him. Gryazin crashing out in his usual flamboyant and spectacular style. Spectators tried to get his car back on the road, but the i20 is very broken. Luckily, the crew are okay.
Late braking in the corner, so tires was quite worn and yeah, go wide. So trying to escape, but have little roll and yeah, little damages. So it's not possible to continue now, but we'll try to continue tomorrow.
Miko Marcek, the Polish rally champion, flying through stage 3, but the abrasive hot gravel caused a puncture early on for him. Having to stop and change it in the stage, dropping time. The crew were okay. They managed to remove it and swap it over and get back on the road. But they dropped over 3 minutes in doing so, and then struggled in the dust for the rest of the stage. And a great display of gravel stills from the championship leader, Alexei Lukyanuk, especially on stage number 3. Stage 3 was, large parts of it were repeat from stage number 1 earlier on in the day, meaning his road position didn't really affect his racing line.
80. Правый 2+-2. 50. Правый 1 за трамплин 170. Правый 5+.
This is the rally that the Russian has not won before. Could this be his chance this weekend? Signs off the day with the fastest time on stage number 4.
80.
Despite starting the day struggling in 6th position, he ends the day 3rd overall. Mads Osberg is here. The Norwegian, who's normally a regular on the World Championship, is having issues with his car and not being entirely confident with the Citroen on this loose surface in Latvia. Mads' goal this weekend is to get valuable experience and data on gravel ready for future missions in the C3. However, Rally Liepāja is not plain sailing for Solberg Jr. His pace in this polo is strong, but the last stage of the day had a sting in its tail. Hanging in the dust from the car up ahead of him affected the young Swede's visibility, causing a spin.
You're okay.
And now lost in his own dust.
Takes 3 plus, take short. 5 right plus, takes 3 plus, take short. Don't cut them. Into slide.
However, back on the gas for Solberg, incredibly only dropping 6 seconds.
Problems with the first and third stage. It was a lot of cleaning for us, and unfortunately we lost a lot of time. But on the second and fourth we did quite well 2 times and won the last one. We had a lot of moments, actually a lot of sideway action, and it was exciting.
Second loop, first stage, I went for a big push and the time was very good, so I was happy with that. And then for the second stage, I thought, okay, it's slippery, just be careful. And then I got full dust, and then I didn't see a corner, and I spun in a very slow left, so it wasn't nothing dramatic anyway. And then I just had to wait for a bit because all the dust was there, so I have to say it was quite a dramatic afternoon, yeah.
Well, just like last year's Day 1 leaderboard in Rally Liepāja, it was Oliver Solberg at the top back then, and a similar 10-second advantage this year as well. Wrapping up 4 stages on day number 1, Solberg, Osberg and Lukanuk take the 1, 2, 3 on day number 1. So once the dust has settled, join us after the break for more ERC action as we conclude the final 6 stages of Rally Liepāja. Welcome back to Latvia, this beautiful part of the world, for round 2 of the championship. And it's absolutely stunning in late August. The summer is slowly coming to an end. Away we're going for leg number 2. This is day number 2, a little bit closer to home today. From Liepāja out into the countryside, 3 stages run back to back before heading back to service and then coming back out again to do it all in the afternoon. So 6 stages to go through today. However, after Nikolai Gryazin's big crash, the hopes of winning the rally for a 3rd time are all over and done with. He won this rally in 2017 and 2018, but he certainly won't be doing it in 2020 after making a complete mess of the Hyundai i20. But they rebuilt it overnight, and we join the Russian crew as they start off on day number 2. Amazing what the team can do with the car, rebuilding it overnight. Obviously, Gryazin isn't going to win the rally this weekend, but he's back for a bit of a test on day number 2. However, still showing some flamboyant driving style in the opening stage of the day today. Emil Lindholm in a Skoda Fabia R5. The flying fin and the flying spin sometimes. Over the jump, losing a bumper. Bit of a scary moment for him. Losing himself in the dust. Could have been a lot worse for the crew. Anyway, they still hold on to 5th position after that one. Lots of smashes, bashes and crashes in day number 2. Callum Devine from Ireland. Impressed when he finished on the podium in Hungary last year. Impressing with his speed here on gravel this time. However, big moment for them. A huge crash for Devine. Both him and Brian Hoy are okay. They managed to walk away from that, but that certainly won't buff out in a hurry. Devine's time over in Latvia.
Came into a bit of a fast section and yeah, we carried a bit too much speed on a 4 right, and we took yeah, we had a bit of a big off, and yeah, that's pretty much where we ended up on the other side of the road. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but that's rallying, I suppose.
Playing it down a bit disappointing. Anyway, Craig Breen from Ireland also, winning back here in 2015 when it was a winter rally. The flat-out stages suit Breen's driving style, with Paul Nagel calling the pace notes. But there's a flat of a different kind about halfway through stage number 7. Puncture for Breen, losing time. This Skoda Fabia R5, run by the Tony Gardemeister camp. Helping to grow the careers of this pair of Finns. It's his first ever ERC event. And the Flying Finn is impressing, complete stage 7. As for the Russian Rocket, who won in Rome, he's fighting back after a struggle cleaning the road yesterday. The championship leader is looking to reclaim his title in 2020 as the ERC European Rally Champion. He won it in 2018. Chris Ingram won it last year. Let's ride on board with Alexei Lukanuk.
Very good stage. I mean, I was not perfect, but I gave it a push and enjoyed it.
Less than 10 years ago, Mads Osberg was fighting on the world stages for the Norwegian honours against Petter Solberg. And now he finds himself in a similar battle with Solberg Jr. The main mission here is testing for Rally Estonia in a few weeks' time, after a long break away driving the car. Each loop the team was tweaking setup so he could push just a little bit harder. Nevertheless, the Citroën was quickest in stage number 5 and keeping up with the leader. Aaron Johnson calling out the pace notes for Oliver Solberg on board his R5 Polo. Solberg seems very at home sliding on the gravel.
Caution brake 60, keep right over crest, into 6 left minus takes 5 minus half long, takes keep very in, into turn left 1.
Absolutely dominating Latvia from the start here.
5 left minus tightens, opens early.
However, the don't cut poles that the organisers put at the side of the road here hits it front right, damaging the car, but just losing a little bit of bodywork.
Try to just keep a nice rhythm with some nice pushing, and I'm just enjoying, so it's good fun. it was a pole that point out, and I just touched it. But when you're in high speed, it makes big damage. So it was fine, no problem.
So the only change in the top 5 is Lindholm. He's overtaken Craig Breen after he picked up that puncture. Oliver Solberg extends his lead, 22.4 seconds now against Mads Osberg, Lukkenuk lying in 3rd. So the dust might settle at the end of the day. We've got some more ERC action coming up after the break. Will Petter, Solberg's son, win it for the 2nd year in a row? Find out after the break. This is now the final part of Rally Liepāja, round 2 of the FIA European Rally Championship, in the dust and in the heat of the Latvian countryside. This is what happened in ERC2 and in the ERC3 categories. And from the Czech Republic, driving the Arbath, Martin Rada was doing pretty well in ERC2. Rada put the Arbath 124 Rally into 5th position overall and winning the Arbath Rally Cup. Leader overall in ERC2 after his win in Rome. Malagari couldn't find the rhythm here in Liepāja. The Subaru driver took 4th position overall. With his consistency, he is still the leader of the ERC2 category after this rally. Dmitry Viovanov was battling for the 2nd position when he had power issue in stage number 7. He dropped to 3rd but kept his Mitsubishi on the podium. And the father and son combo from Latvia had a great weekend, finishing 2nd on their local rally, the home heroes in ERC2. The Hungarian Tibor Erdi Jr. made a strong return to ERC2. He dominated the rally from the start until engine problems in stage 9 put his win in doubt. He was a bit slower in the last section, but was able to reach the finish and raise the silverware. Erdi wins the ERC2 category and is now 3rd in the championship. Meligari is lying in front at the moment. Viovanov is 2nd. So the young guns are starting their learning curve in ERC3, the 2-wheel drive class. It was a day full of action. With Rachele Samashini from Italy, the First Lady continues to learn in ERC3. Their team came to the end of Rally Liepāja with the new Peugeot 208 Rally 4 in a great position. However, Amaury Mole from Belgium, his debut on gravel rally, a bit too much for him. Off the road when he was off the limits and crashed in the same corner as Callan Devine, destroying his Peugeot in the process. And the local hero and former ERC3 champion Martin Seix romping his way to a new victory here in the 2-wheel drive class, battling for the lead with Ken Thorne. Seix jumped a little bit too high here, landing heavy on the nose of his Fiesta, breaking his radiator, and had to retire after stage 7 and technical problems. Renis Nitz, the Latvian driver, was battling for an ERC podium until the very last stage. Finally, he was able to grab 3rd position and was only 2.2 seconds down, his best result in ERC3. Dennis Radstrom had a consistent weekend. He was 3rd after leg 1. He was able to get a 2nd position when he set the best time in ERC3 in stage number 9. It was his first podium in ERC3. Still in a 2-wheel drive Fiesta, Ken Thorne took advantage of his mechanical problems of Martin Seix. The Estonian got to get a great 2nd victory in a row in ERC3. He wins without pressure and he can extend his lead on the championship. He had a surprise win in Italy a few weeks ago. and out on top once again here in Latvia.
Yeah, actually, when you don't have any pressure, so it's harder to drive. But yeah, anyway, today started the motivation but it's coming step by step, and yeah, here we are.
So on the podium, it's Torn, Radström and Nittis. The fastest juniors of the weekend in ERC3. That's all wrapped up for round number 2. Torn out in front with 79 points. Bassas from Spain on 44. Radström on 38 points. So then, this is the final loop of Rally Liepāja. It's almost a repeat of the morning's loop of stages, except stage number 9, the penultimate stage of the rally, is shortened in a fast section that uses part of stage 6. Total of 40 kilometres are left for the competitors, and Gregoire Munster driving the Hyundai i20 R5. He's in the ERC1 and ERC Junior category. Munster's going well, clipped a hay bale in the chicane, and was lucky not to get too much damage. Ral Yeats, a veteran of the ERC, is back after a few years away. Gear lever broke off during stage number 5.
Did it snap off? Don't know.
But we're still looking good for a top 10 finish. Mikko Heikkilä from Finland, his first ever rally outside his home country. And even on the gravel roads here are quite similar. He's going well, and he's another driver from Tony Gardemeister's stable. On target for a very impressive top 10 finish in his debut. Emil Lindholm, another fast Finn. Having survived a fast spin in the morning loop, the young Finn didn't show any signs of backing off. He only turned 24 last month, so he's also eligible for ERC1 Junior Honours. A good result for the Finnish crew. A great result for MRF tyres. And also Craig Breen driving on the same Indian tyres, part of a development programme this year. Breen, who won Rally Liepāja in 2015, pushing hard. They got a 4th place in round 1 of the championship in Rome. The Irish Q couldn't make up the minutes after picking up a puncture, and they dropped down on the Sunday morning's loop. Finished the rally 5th overall for Craig Breen and Paul Nagel. Another fast flying Finn. Their debut on the ERC. They took 4th place in the rally when Craig Breen slipped back and held on to the finish. An impressive end. And I'm sure we'll hear a lot from these youngsters in the future. More drivers coming through Tony Gardemeister's talent stable. So as a helicopter picks up Alexei Lukanuk, the rooster tail of dust across the Latvian countryside. Lukanuk suffering with his road position from day 1 after that poor qualifying stage, and yet a measured drive on day number 2, proving that the Russian rocket has finally shed his all-or-nothing reputation. Podium finish for Alexei, 3rd overall in the rally.
It was a very amazing race, absolutely flat out all the way. Some delays with tires, with setups, but we tried to push. So far it looks good. I think we scored good points for the championship, so I'm happy for our performance.
Mads Osberg was honest from the start. He wasn't eligible for championship points here, and he was not match fit ready after being out of the seat for such a long time. So he's treating the event here in Latvia more of a kind of learning curve, getting a bit more seat time to develop his relationship with Citroën a little bit further. Nevertheless, he was able to compete at the very sharp end of the points table, up at the top with the rest of them.
I'm very pleased with everything we have been able to do, and of course we have always also stayed in the fight. I think Oliver has been amazing this weekend, so it's just a big congratulations to him, and I want to thank him for showing us the pace we need to keep.
So having extended his lead to 22 seconds during the morning loop, the teenage sensation Oliver Solberg could have been able to drive a little bit more clever to protect his advantage. But as he launched into stage number 8, he could feel that the engine was only firing on 3 cylinders.
Press 300.
Was it going to be a mechanical failure?
Small press 60, turn on C2 left plus. Hold the tab lock. Tightens, narrows.
However, the gremlins under the bonnet managed to clear themselves, and then he was able to attack to hold on to the lead of the rally right to the end. 6 out of 10 stage wins for Oliver Solberg this weekend.
Today it's just been about managing the lead, and this morning I tried to push to build a bigger gap, and then this afternoon just control it. But the tires are getting quite bad. I felt it was driving a rear-wheel drive almost, you know. But tires has been perfect all weekend, and it's been just a fantastic weekend.
Confirmation of the final classification, a masterclass from the teenage Solberg, with Mads Osberg very gracious about his role as the pace setter this weekend, and looking at very much keeping his title campaign on track. Another notable performance from Sean Johnson. However, back in the service park, team celebration for the Solbergs. He made history here 12 months ago, winning in Liepāja in 2019, doing it again in 2020. However, Alexei Lukanuk is now out on top, earned the championship by 4 points. Oliver Solberg lying behind him with 66 points to his name. So muted celebrations thanks to the COVID precautions. Social distancing, podium style in Liepāja. But a great time to cherish for the crews. Some things don't change. Champagne continues to flow. So well done to Oliver Solberg. What happens next when we move to round 3 in the Azores, deep into the Atlantic Ocean? We continue on gravel as we head to the island of San Miguel. Next up, from the 17th to the 19th of September, it's round 3. The ERC continues. From all of us on the programme, we'll catch you in a few weeks' time.